Hello.
Hi.
A very good start to the stream. Oh, no, stop.
Yes, sorry. I got it.
Yes. First, we have to say that if we suddenly disappear, then that means that the PC crashed. Already today, once we had
A crash.
a crash, we were building some of these on Strike's channel, and suddenly everything went black. So yeah, the PC has been acting up today. So if something like that happens, then we will be back in like some minutes. Hopefully, my dad can handle himself.
But hopefully it's not crashing at all. So
I mean,
Yes.
if it's crashed, then this is the way.
this is
Yes, and I also apologize for coughing. I'm still a bit sick after celebration, so yes, but I will try not to cough into the mic. But yes, The Mandalorian Season 3. That's why we are here. Oh, but first we should introduce everyone who is not the owner of the channel. So
Hi, my name is Strike. I do Star Wars. Thank you for having me on.
yes, you're very welcome. And
And me?
yes, you.
Yeah, sorry, Avela's dad. That's me. Yeah. If you don't know me, no problem. You will know me. Good enough. Yeah.
Oh, hello. Yes, but I guess we should just get started because there's a lot to talk about.
Yeah.
So first,
Yeah. Before, I forgot one thing. I will just stop the camera for like 10 seconds and I'll be back.
okay.
You can talk so far.
Yes,
Yeah,
I
go on.
will talk. Yes. So first, we will like quickly go through all the episodes, and if there was something that we wanted to discuss with all of them, I will just find my notes. There. So yes, let's get started with episode 1. Can you give a rundown of episode 1?
Episode 1. Well, we're starting with. Oh gosh, does it start with the ceremony?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So it starts with the ceremony. Oh yeah. So we see sort of the ritual for the young Ragnar, which at the moment we didn't know his name, but yeah, that small Mandalorian boy is getting like sort of introduced into, I guess, adulthood, sort of. I mean, not fully. It's like the first sort of step to becoming a Mandalorian. I feel like that's sort of what it is. It's when you get your helmet. Sort
very
of
goofy looking helmet.
very goofy, very like Hasbro children looking mask, definitely. But yeah, it seems to be in the Children of the Watch's way, sort of that first step of like, at that point you put on the helmet and then you never take it off again. And it kind of gets interrupted by the huge like croc thing. Yes. And yeah, then we see the Mandos fight that croc thing more or less unsuccessfully.
Yes.
And then Din and Grogu come in with the N1 and blast the crocodile to shreds and save the day.
Yep. And in that episode, we also get to see the Purgils, which I'm sure Dad knows what they are.
Purgils?
Yes.
No idea what's that.
I remember when they were in like hyperspace, then Grogu is seeing these like things in hyperspace.
Ah, yeah, something weird. Oh, that's true. No, yeah. Now I remember.
Well, you can only see the shadow in that shot.
But we're not going to talk too much about those because, I mean, it was just sort of an Easter egg.
Right.
So, yeah. And
just
then,
sort of a aha.
Yep. And then we go to Navarro and we have, yes, space whales. And then we get some IG-11 and Zelens.
And Zelens, which...
Bad baby.
No squeeze. Yeah, I mean, the Zelens were definitely a part. I mean, obviously, the first time we see Enzelans are in episode 9, Rise of Skywalker, which is, chances are it's not your cup of tea. Chances are it's not really ours either. It was something I was sort of worried about before the season dropped, like when we only saw it in the trailers. But then in that actual scene, I kind of came into it like not wanting to like it, and just expecting not to like it. But then like I don't know, I found it very funny. I thought it was actually quite well done. And yeah, I'm a fan.
Well, Babu was the only thing I liked about episode 9, so I never had a problem with those. Does Dan know what we're talking about?
Yeah, this funny. I mean, they could be like from Muppet Show. You don't know what
Yeah.
Muppet Show, perhaps, but yeah, I think I still actually I had to rewatch all the episodes. That's why I'm a little bit late. So I had to, and that's why actually one of the scenes I saw, and I thought they're funny. And are there like in later episodes also these guys? Yeah. So I think they're like really well done. But I guess they're not CGI, or are they CGI?
No,
What do you
they're
think?
actually like
They're like
puppets.
puppets.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they're really well done, and
Mm.
they feels like really real, so to say. And sorry, I had to put off my camera because I had put off my shirt. I had this on.
Very nice.
Yeah, I bought it in the celebration, and I thought because Bo-Katan is so cool. But we will talk later about that. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, but I like the creature, whatever they are called. I don't remember names anyway. But yeah.
Yes. And then in that episode, we also get the really cool N1 against the pirate ships. That was like one of my favorite, like, I guess from the entire season, honestly. Like just that like small dogfight scene was like really cool. And then the ending is Kalevala and Bo-Katan.
I would even slip one in with like the whole pirate encounter before the space battle. I honestly really like the shootout. And also, meanwhile, it just rubs a bit more salt into the wound because like when Mando's just sort of chilling on the side, he's taking up almost the exact same pose that like Boba had in episode 6 in Jabba's palace. Which just kind of makes it even more like, okay, like he's really, just taking all the credit for what Boba should have been in this. But,
sorry for laughing. Yeah, I should have been laughing. Yeah, but that's true. I mean, I still don't know what they did with the Boba series. I mean, if you compare, like, we shouldn't talk about Boba the series now, but if you compare like the scenery and all, I mean the cinematography, everything. I mean, it was like a crap show I could have done. Almost the Boba, and this is like it's so epic, and all the fights and all the scenery, and I also like the pirate encounter, and and also got a little bit like the Pirates of the Caribbean feelings because the head boss, I mean, what the pirate boss, he was really, but it didn't like disturb the, I mean, so it was pretty nice, and I mean Kalevala, Finns, we run naked on the town square and run to see you at the town square, so yeah, it was nice to see Kalevala.
Yeah, I think like episode 1 was a really good start to the season.
Which I was so shocked that so many people didn't like it because like episode 1, we'll get to my actual favorite episode, but episode 1 is probably my second favorite episode of the season, just because like it covers so much, and I really like the pacing just in general in that one. And just very cool effects, just the cinematography and how the scenes are cut were just really nice. And also like the aliens / the prosthetics that they use, they're really using them to perfection. Like you see Mon Calamari, you see Quarren, you see Twi'leks, like all those OG species, but also like the Klatooinians and the Nikto, like those, like the sort of Nikto, I guess lieutenant, the sort of coward. like vein, yeah, something like that. Like his like prosthetics like looked so good. Like
Yes.
when he was moving the mouth, like it was really like, okay, this is like that actual alien thing.
Yes. And Gordon Shardy, I didn't remember his name. So
Yeah.
thank you for that one.
And it was Wayne because
And the
that's
ship was cool.
I made some notes and his name was Wayne, the
Oh,
pirate.
Yeah, vein.
Good.
All right.
Yeah, and it was really it was yeah. I I I I underline everything you said. I mean, they were really really real and really good looking. And
Mm.
one thing about the first episode also that it happened so much and it felt like it was longer than it actually was because there was a lot of I guess because it was episode one, they had to like start all these red lines or whatever. But
Mm.
yeah,
Yeah.
it was nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have anything else about episode 1, or should we move on to the next one?
Um, I had just I mean the Mando ship. It's so cool.
Yeah.
I mean, and
And one
I know.
thing,
Yeah, I mean, it's. I mean, of course, because I'm like an old fart, so I sort of like my Star Wars journey started with the oldest with old films, and X-wings were I mean definitely my cup of tea. But X-wings and this Mando ship, I mean they're like top on my list definitely. And I get this little bit like the Naboo ship feeling about
Well,
it,
it
sort of
is
well,
a
it
like
is.
the.
one.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, it was yeah okay
Different color,
yeah
like the
Or
ones.
it has
I
no
don't remember.
color.
I mean I
Yeah,
don't
it's like
remember the
different
series
tone.
two
Yeah.
or one or two. Okay, yeah, but
Yeah,
yeah,
the Nabooan ones are the yellow ones.
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, but
Yeah.
anything
No,
else?
really good. Always gotta appreciate a good shootout. Yeah. No, really,
Of
really
course.
enjoyed first episode. That was a really solid start to the series for
Yep.
me.
Yeah, one small detail. When Mando and Grogu sort of in the first scene where they were having this whatever and this monster came and Mando shot it with the ship. Then did you see all these parts when it sort of exploded the monster from the water? So they had really put
Oh,
Oh
effort.
yeah,
yeah.
like the
They had put
organs.
yeah
Yeah.
yeah they put like really good effort in like it was so. I mean I like that. I mean they could have just skipped it, but still it was yeah.
Mm,
So really good details and everything.
yeah.
Yeah, and I suppose I mean it makes sense why it feels like a video game because you're setting up the story and he's going sort of on a quest. So I don't necessarily see that as a bad thing. But yeah, I think enough about episode 1. Let's move on to the second one, which is was it called The Mines of Mandalore or
Yeah. Second one
yeah.
was literally called The Mines of
I mean
Mandalore.
that's pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah.
That's yeah.
We went to the Mines of Mandalore in episode 2.
Yeah, we see the like I guess what used to be Sundari.
Yeah. Well, I mean, really, the top of Sundari that doesn't even exist
Yeah,
anymore.
just the ruins.
Yeah.
And that's when oh sorry, okay, can you continue?
Yeah, for sure. So I mean, so in the first episode at the end, like like Din is obviously like sort of informing Bo-Katan that he's going to go to Mandalore. She's not coming with him, but yeah, he decides to go there anyway. Also with R5
Mhm.
at that point, which is also like kind of like a fun one, that sort of really throwaway side astromech in episode 4 now getting actual like screen time.
Yeah. Does
Um,
Dad know what R5 was?
Yeah, I wouldn't have, but I just saw it
like
like a
the
couple of
the
hours
astromech.
ago. So yeah, it was like the white one with a little bit reddish or something.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yes,
Do you
yeah.
know where he was from?
No, was he in
In
the Clone Wars?
episode 4, like in the beginning, when like the Jawas are selling R2D2 and C3PO
Okay,
to Luke, like
okay.
first Luke takes
Yeah.
that one, but then like the
Ah,
head like boof, like blows up,
oh,
and that's why he takes R2.
okay. I don't remember. Oh, yeah, I don't remember that scene. Yeah, that
That's
was
good.
like 27 years ago. No, I've seen it. Yeah, but yeah, okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, then they just explore. I mean, really, like the depths of Mandalore, and they find a bunch of ruins and like a bunch of Mando armor pieces that have been
Yeah,
there.
like this one.
right? Actually, exactly this one. This is the
Yep.
helmet that Mando picks up out of the Greeble in the dust. And then Din gets captured by this mech creature bug thing.
Yeah, we don't know yet. I mean, we
Yeah.
might if we get like
A
book.
book, yeah.
Yeah, like a visual dictionary, or even I think the art of might
Yeah.
like show more about that. But yeah, we
Some-
don't know what it is yet.
Some theories that are at least of what we know so far, and if they're drafting from things that already exist, it's likely that they're based on I don't remember the name. If JT was here, he would know. From The Force Unleashed, there's a planet where there are these greebly like cyborg sort of thingies, and they kind of look similar and also have that sort of like ducked walk. So it might be something like that. But yeah, we don't really know. But yeah, Din gets captured. The thing starts putting him in a cage and like I don't know, like extracting blood or something.
Something weird.
But yeah, Grogu manages to get away and gets Bo-Katan to
From
help
Kalevala.
from Kalevala. And yeah, Bo-Katan beats everyone's ass, literally. Like first just with blasters and then with the freaking Darksaber slices that yeah, cyborg thingy up into tiny pieces and I mean that's pretty
Yeah, well
much.
then they
Oh,
also go to
oh
the
gosh,
mine,
yeah.
or like the
We actually do
waters.
get that still.
Yep.
Yeah, and then they go to the actual mines. Like Bo helps Din, and yeah, like Din, I guess, sort of forgets that Beskar is still like metal and weighs something, because he just makes a step into the water, and I mean, from the destruction, I guess there isn't anything there anymore. So he's just hitting the ocean floor, so to speak, and Bo has to rescue him again.
Yep.
And on the way up, they see a mythosaur.
Yes.
Yeah, and then it ends.
Yeah, and I really think if I would be Mando Amidin Daryan, whatever, I don't remember the name, then I would demand that they should have like a sign, beware deep water or something.
Yeah.
Because, it was.
Yeah, I know. Like they could kill someone.
Yeah, and I remember when I was talking with Avela afterwards about this, about this episode. I was like, what happened? Why did he fell like into the deep? She was like, the best car. She was like, best car. I was like, oh yeah, the best car. I wasn't that sharp at that point. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it would not have been like a big deal if he didn't take off his jetpack. But I mean,
Yeah.
he took off his jetpack, so.
Yeah.
Which
But I mean
that
that's yeah.
pretty-
But that's a little bit like life. I mean, if you're really excited, it's a little bit like when I went to the celebration and went to get the photo with with Jonas Suotomo. I was really excited and I just lost everything. So he was just so excited to finally get the bat and get back to the creed or whatever. So he wasn't thinking straight. I think that was it's really realistic scenario.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, but I have like this. I was like quick checking all the episodes, and I had this written note. Damn nice cinematography. So again, there was a lot of really nice scenes. Scenes definitely really nice. And I was so excited about the mythosaur because I remember Avela your video about the mythosaur
Yes.
and how you had like designed and it was so fun. So I had to watch that video again, and it was pretty cool. It looked quite a lot the same.
Yeah.
Same.
No.
So
I'm looking forward to actually seeing it in full, so I can see how much it actually looks the same.
Yeah.
yeah. Hey, I have one question to you because I mean, I used to call myself a Star Wars noob. I mean, being at the celebration, I'm not a noob anymore.
Yeah,
I mean,
no.
it's that would be really fake. But so what actually happened to Mandalore? And they were showing this like it's like sort of like crystal surface. Did they bomb it with something special?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean they
Really
showed
shortly.
it
What happened?
in
Was
Book
it in
of
like a
Boba.
Clone Wars?
No,
Did
they showed it
okay.
in Book of Boba. It was the Empire that bombed like the entire.
But did they have like
surface.
special bombs or did they have like I don't remember
No, I don't
anymore.
just.
Yeah, no, I mean they did
Bombs.
like say a specific type of bomb.
Yeah.
I think it was just sort of something that I don't even. Well, I mean, because I think it's just sort of because like a lot of like the surface of Mandalore was like sort of sand,
Yeah, I
Oh,
mean
okay.
it
sort of
already was
surface.
destroyed. It used to be like a green
Right.
planet,
I
but
mean, right. Because I mean, really, there was only Sundari, that like big globe city, sort of.
Okay,
Like,
yeah.
all around there was pretty much just sand. So I think it was honestly just the bombs and the heat, just like like turning it to glass,
Yeah,
just
so
like how
ah,
like like
that's
sand turns to glass.
that
So
explains. Of
yeah.
course, because
So I
sand
think it's
is
more
glass.
that.
Okay, yeah,
yeah.
good
And
point.
this is oh wait, no. This is what I wanted to also like sort of thought it was a bit funny how fast he actually dropped because like
Mm.
Bogdan had to go so far to find him because I mean he wasn't dropping for that long, so that was like a bit
Yeah.
weird.
Exaggerated. Yeah.
Yeah, that was. And then another thing that we also immediately made the episode drop down a bit in the rating was Bo-Katan's blaster sound. I mean, he even made a video about
I
it.
made a video about it.
Yeah,
Well,
but short or no, not short story. Long story short, it's the wrong sound, and it's
and just
pretty annoying.
blatantly wrong. Like not even like like they used the sound they used in Rebels, which I mean technically is also wrong. But like it was just blatantly wrong. I mean, honestly, the sound design is probably the weakest point for me personally throughout the entire series.
Yeah.
Like the sound design is actually bad in some places.
Yeah,
Unfortunately, because like overall I really enjoy the season, but the sound design really big L. But it's also not the guy that usually does the sound design on
yeah,
this one, so
yeah.
yeah.
But then another like nice thing about this episode though was like when they were walking to go to the waters, and Bo-Katan was talking about her dad and
Mm,
stuff. I thought it was like really nice. We haven't like heard anything. We don't really know that much about the like Chris family
yeah.
really. So yeah, I thought it was a nice detail. But I think we should move on to the next one, which is I don't remember what it was called, but episode 3. So that's the one that starts off with like the dogfight and stuff, and then we have this very long story about
Pershing.
Pershing and Elijah Kane.
Yeah.
So what does Dad think about this episode?
First of all, I mean, the dog fights and everything at Kalevala, I think they were pretty cool. And there's especially one scene that makes me like, the hair start to, I don't know what,
Goosebumps.
yeah, a goosebump. And that was the scene when Mando jumped out of the ship. By the way, Bo-Katan's ship is also really cool.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Yes.
when he jumped out of it, I was like, "Holy shit!" It was so cool. And then he went down to his own ship, and just because before it was destroyed, he went into air, and I think they were really pretty nice scenes. And then they came the bombers and destroyed, and they went away,
Mm.
and a lot of TIE fighters. It was I think it was really nice. And then we got to the was it I get it was Coruscant, wasn't it? Like
It
this
was
long story.
Coruscant.
Yeah, and that was it was really long, and I felt it was really random sort of scenes.
Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
good way to
Yeah,
describe it, I
yeah,
think.
yeah, with this science going, but still, I mean, I don't know why they did it and why they did it that way. That it was sort of like first really pretty cool dogfights, and then really long story about something I sort of understood it, but anyway, and then we got the uh, the part when they get Mando got back his sort of reputation, whatever. But still, I think there has to be a reason. I guess there were, but still, Coruscant. It was really cool, and I sort of enjoyed. I enjoyed it, but it was sort of like misplaced and really random. It could have been like another series about Coruscant and what happens on
Mm.
Mhm.
Coruscant. So I think it was pretty cool and really good scenery again, and really like super nice. But it was really random.
Yeah, I think you pretty much said it there. What we think what happened there is that this was supposed to be for a show called was it
Rangers of the New
Republic?
Republic. Yeah.
Yeah, which got
Okay.
cancelled.
Because Gina Carano got fired.
Yeah, and I mean we don't know what other stuff went
Yeah.
on
Well,
like,
certainly
behind the
there
scenes,
was other
but
stuff too. Yeah.
yeah, basically like probably this was something written for that, and then they just felt like they need to explain this for whatever reason, and then they just put it in here.
Mm.
But
Okay.
does feel very misplaced, and as you said, like very random. So
Yeah.
like I didn't mind the story itself, like it was enjoyable, but it just doesn't make sense, especially or back then I was like not going to judge it because I was like maybe it makes sense in the end, but I mean now it doesn't really make sense.
Yeah.
I suppose like the reason why they had that was just to show that they erased his mind so that no one else can use his knowledge about cloning for sensitive like beings or whatever. I think that's like that was the point of it.
Hmm.
But like yeah, I don't see at the moment why they included that. Like it could have just been scrapped.
Or at least not to the extent.
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah.
But even then, like just having a short thing about that would have just been still very random. Like
No, it would have. Yeah. Yeah, it just really feels like something they probably planned for that other show and just felt like they had to include it for whatever reason.
yeah, I mean, it
Um,
might still become
right.
important.
And I
but,
mean,
like,
if they have made it already like previously, so it would be a really I guess they just have to use it because of the money. I mean, if they have
Yeah,
made
but-
it for this, I don't know.
I'm not sure if they actually like got to the stage of actually filming anything for that show. Like we don't know anything what happened with that. So yeah,
Yeah.
but I think that's enough said about
Right.
that one.
Yeah.
So then episode 4, which is
Sorry,
Very-
one thing about
oh,
one
okay.
thing. I think you will watch actually episode 3 a lot and really slowly. And do you know why?
why?
A lot of
Because
Orbesh.
Yeah, I'm waiting for
Oh.
Orbesh
Yeah.
when you go through all, because there were a lot of
Yeah,
like the police
Yeah.
chop whatever. So I'm waiting for that one. So you have to watch it again
Yeah. And
Yeah.
closely.
I will also say about that episode, I mean, it has nothing to do with the Pershing stuff, but that dogfight does deserve a lot of praise just because not only do we see TIE interceptors and bombers, hey, good job, but we also see crazy maneuvers. Like, especially, I mean, I screamed your ear off when Bo-Katan was
Yes.
doing that turn where she flipped the one wing up and then turned around and shot the TIE interceptor. Like there were some really cool like flight maneuvers that were just really
Yeah.
badass. And I think we're still like kind of like, at least I'm sort of still like wondering where those TIE interceptors and bombers came from. I guess at this point Mandalore might have been close enough for their
Yeah,
reach
because
there was
didn't
no Star
also-
Destroyer, no light cruiser.
yeah, I think it should be.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the reason.
Yeah.
But anyway, episode 4. That's when they are like first training, and then they have the Grogu versus Ragnar, where they're like duel something.
Or they're doing paintball.
Yeah. But then the main part of this is like the Grogu flashback with Karen Beck, and then they go back and then they save Ragnar from the. Remember the name of the bird thingies?
Oh, I have no idea. Yeah.
It's the bird that is on the Netwatch logo. But anyway, if someone knows, let us know in the chat. Yeah, and then it ends with Bo-Katan getting the Mythosaur pauldron. So, what do we think about this one?
You.
You?
Oh, me. Oh, okay. No, I like this one. I mean, I obviously like. I thought that like the whole matchup between Ragnar and Grogu was a bit goofy, maybe. Also, like I just instantly laughed when he put the like leather gauntlet on, and it was like Grogu's arm was basically like that, and it was covering the entire arm. Like Grogu was like, but yeah, I mean, it wasn't too bad. But yeah, the whole like sort of, I guess like, oh, first of all, when the thing gets away and Bo-Katan is like following the thing in the ship, that shot with like the sun is really cool. Like for me personally, that gave me heavy like episode 4 or like Top Gun vibes. I really like that shot. But also I really like the like sort of the team that was trying to get Ragnar back. Because they actually picked like all the Mandalorians out of the Children of the Watch that actually looked like they had a matching look thing going on. Like they were like mainly blue and had those white stripes. So I really like that those guys, and yeah, I mean there wasn't that much more to it, but I enjoyed it. It was a good sort of in between episode.
You didn't say anything about the clones.
Oh, was that the episode?
Yes.
Oh gosh, that was the episode. Oh
I
gosh.
just said that. Oh
Ah.
yes.
I have a question. Yeah, the Order 66 flashback. That
Yes.
was pretty cool. I know because for everybody else, I haven't seen Clone Wars, but after the celebration, when I went there with Avela's sister, and we were both like, yeah, we definitely need more Star Wars. So we started to watch Clone Wars now, and we watch like we're at like episode series the first season and like episode 9 or 10, and now we understand the clone. We don't understand the clones, but we know more about the clones. So I was immediately because I was rewatching the episode, the Manda episode, like a couple of hours ago. I was like, yeah, that's the clones, and I was like, but then I was start to think about the celebration of the pins you got, and I was like, were there actually some clones you recognized, or were they like just random clones?
Oh, like in that scene that was
In
just
that scene.
regular 501st clones, yeah.
Okay, so nothing
No
special.
The
named
But
ones.
no name was and the other ones.
Oh yeah. Well, I was just gonna get it. Yeah, I forgot that was the episode that was in. But yes, obviously, Order 66 was a highlight for sure.
Yeah, I was a bit surprised. You were like, yeah, it was okay. And what about the clone?
What about
the clone?
Yeah. Clone.
Yes,
Clone.
no, obviously I really enjoyed that. First of all, I was very relieved that they didn't follow up on a big no-no that they did in Kenobi, which was the wrong color for the 501st troopers, which is like the 501st is literally like the clone legion out there that is like the most known, and they fucked up the color in Kenobi. So it was very nice to see that it was the right shade of blue. And overall, I just thought the scene was in general well done. Like the beginning part where they're blasting the door, it was like the way the like charge like exploded. It was very similar to episode 4, like on the Tantive. So I really like that sort of parallel. And yeah, I mean, I thought the overall like just the vibe of it was really cool. Like a lot of Jedi dying rather quickly, like getting overwhelmed. Like they were fleeing one corridor into the next one, and then there were already clones there as well. And then obviously Kelleran Beck, which I think all of us when we were watching the episode we were like Jar Jar. So that was pretty cool that he got to reprise that sort of. I mean, I guess the character was canon, so kind of reprise his role, so to speak. But yeah, then getting like bar speeders, like the one with the side carts in live action, that was super cool. And then the whole like fleeing the temple scene with them immediately getting chased by LAATs and like not one but two. I mean, it was. I feel like any prequel fan's dream come true, sort of, for that specific sort of scenario.
And then the Naboo ship, and
then the Naboo ship, yeah. Which that was really cool. Like just seeing something like the Naboo guards, was really cool, and the outfits looked great. But then like the moment like that one guard was looking like behind Kelleran, and you hear like the humming sound of the LAT coming in. That's what I really love about that whole time, because like in episode 2 when you hear that hum, you're like, yes, the clones, like they're saved. And then like after Order 66, as soon as you hear the humming sound, you're like, things are gonna go bad now. And yeah, I mean, we get to see shock troopers and normal phase 2s in live action, and I really love that entire scene. And then V-Wings also chasing the thing.
Yes. F in the chat for Persimmons April Fool's video.
Rip.
Sad. Yeah, I think you said pretty much everything. It was very enjoyable, that entire sequence. It's just very good. What does Dad think? Any other comments for this episode?
No, but were there like two kind of clones there, like this blue white one and then the red
Yeah, the core,
But
like
are
the shock troopers are the red ones.
okay, but are they also like you said 501? Or is that
No,
same? Okay, so
so
that's different.
the 501st Legion is like Anakin's Legion of clone
Okay,
troopers, and the shock troopers or the Coruscant Guard. Those are like the clones
okay,
stationed on Coruscant as
You'll
like
see
sort of
them
security.
in Clone Wars once you get into the
Yeah,
later seasons.
you'll see them plenty once you get to certain arcs. So,
yeah. May
but the
I
white
ask?
ones are just the normal
Yeah,
ones.
may I ask a stupid question? Yeah, I will anyway. So I start to I see more and more because like a couple of years ago I was like Order 66. What's that? I had no clue. Now I actually recognize and know what Order 66 is. But so why wasn't Anakin just killed by the clones? Because wasn't he was still sort of like a Jedi
Yeah,
ish.
or I mean,
No.
clothed. I think he was more talking about how did the clones like differentiate Anakin from
Yeah,
any other Jedi.
But I mean,
because
it was like 501st,
Yeah,
and the order was like excluding Anakin because he was
yeah.
not a Jedi anymore.
I mean,
so
I mean, the clones were. I definitely informed that they were not supposed to kill, the second man of the Emperor.
yeah, but was it
Yeah,
like sort of sorry, but was it like they had achieved something that they had like a program that they got the
yeah,
order sort of?
you will learn more
Yeah,
about
you-
that in the
Okay,
Clone Wars.
okay,
You don't want to say
okay.
too much.
yeah,
And actually, this something you also noticed.
yes. Yeah. Oh gosh. Yeah, my guy. I know. Yeah. So here's the thing. So I'm German. I don't watch really any Star Wars content in German anymore. I usually just watch it in English.
Because of me.
Because of you. But as a kid, obviously, I watched the movies in German. I listened to that. We had like special audio dramas like Labyrinth of Evil and Dark Lord in German voice dub, which matched the movies, and also the Clone Wars voice actors in German were the same ones from the movies. And yeah, I know in Book of Boba Fett, the clones were already voiced by random people,
Yeah,
and now
different people.
and
also.
different people. It wasn't just like one other person, voicing the clones. It was different people, and that one they didn't have that many voice lines, so it was sort of like okay, whatever. But in this one, like quite a few of the clones like say things, and they're just different people. So I don't know which idiot was like reading Stormtrooper or like didn't
Yeah.
understand what a clone is, but and yeah, I mean, I still need to make a video about that because I really want to.
Yeah.
Because like
You were
for
upset.
I was very upset because like usually I rewatch the episode with my dad and then I usually watched in German. So also just out of interest if they recast, the original voice actors in German. Because for a really long time they were really good, really consistent. Like I'll give you an example. There was also like a audio drama for Heir to the Empire, which had the original, or at least most of the original voice cast from the OT trilogy that did the entire story of Heir to the Empire until Last Command. And the new voice dub, obviously for Thrawn, they brought him back for Rebels, so it's the same guy that voiced Thrawn. So I always had a high opinion of the German voice dub, but yeah, that one is just
It's sad.
it's terrible, and my day was ruined.
Yes.
At least in the English dub, it's Tamora Morrison, but yeah, I feel you. That's all I can say. Yeah.
Yeah. But I guess let's go to episode 5 then, which is when the pirates are taking Navarro, and then we get what do we get? We see Zeb on the planet. I don't think the planet was named.
No,
With
I
all
just
the
called it
pilots.
Space Vietnam.
Yeah, that's what I have in my notes too. And yeah, essentially the New Republic will not help Navarro. So then the Mandos, what did they call the covert? Yeah,
The covert, yeah.
are coming there to save them.
Yeah.
And then Bo-Katan is talking with the armor, and she tells her to take her helmet off and go and find the other Mandos to unite them.
Yeah.
And And then we get also the scene with Carson Teva finding the ship that was transporting Gideon and saying that he was not there and he escaped or was helped to escape. Yes.
You skipped all the cool shit.
I don't remember. I had not have it in my notes.
Oh, well, there was a lot of Mandalorians kicking ass.
Yeah, that was the part of they saved Navarro.
Okay, let's move aside. Let me handle it. Yeah, I mean, the whole taking back Navarro, I think, was really cool. Like, especially like seeing the gauntlet like flying above Navarro and then dropping Mandalorians out of the like bottom. Like you see that in Clone Wars plenty, but seeing it in live action just kicks different.
Yeah.
So that was really cool. And yeah, I mean, you kind of also see again those group of Mandos that have a matching color scheme. And yeah, I really like that. And it was sort of one funny moment that I really liked was before they landed, like some of the pirates were shooting the quacking monkey lizards in the trees, and then when the Mandos were passing, like some of the quacking monkey lizards were like they were pointing towards the pirates, like ratting them out, and because they were like planning an ambush, and then like the Mandos knew, all right, I think there's an ambush, and like already took cover. So I really like that. And
Delphi base.
A Delphi base.
Stanley's coming in clutch with all the names.
Yes, Stanley's rocking it. And then the last thing I want to mention is that one of those Mandos, I think it was also one of those like matching color Mandos, he fucking jump packed on one of the pirate starfighters and shot the pilot with his blasters and rode the thing until it crashed. Like that was really cool.
And we had only one pirate who survived, who was Vane.
Yeah.
And we can tell you, if you want to know, from Skeleton Crew, he's going to be the villain. And it was like leaked that these pirates would be the villains, but I mean, they died. But from the trailer we saw, we did see Vane in there, so we will see him again.
Right.
Yeah. Does Dad have any comments about it?
Yeah, I mean, I have not many notes, but I have one that Mandalorians are badass. So because I didn't know anything about Mandalorians before, I didn't even know that Boba is sort of like a man. I didn't know squid about it, and when the Mandalorian series started, so for me, Mandalorian was this guy, Din Djarin, whatever. So that was for me. So I finally started to understand that what it's all about, and I'm really happy about it. And it was so funny when we were in the celebrations. There were a lot of Mandalorians, and I sort of it was so cool, and I sort of I get the goosebumps again. I remember at the celebrations on the backyard, there were like 50 Mandalorians walking in a troop, and they were greeted by this guy.
Yeah.
And it was so. I mean, and now I understand. Now I understand also why you like the Mandalorians so much, because they are really cool. And sort of, I don't know, like the helmets, you don't see the faces, except for the one of these tribes, whatever that don't have the helmet on. So they're really pretty cool. And if I would like start to cosplay, I don't know, I would probably get a Mandalorian suit myself, because they're really.
May I say, this is the way.
This is the way, yeah. So I understand why they made their own series about the Mandalorians, and and yeah, it was damn nice.
Yes.
And then about this episode still, I mean, we saw the X-wing, and it's so nice. So when this whoever, I don't remember his name, when he flew there, to this went to the Mandalorian, said that he go to Navarro and help them. So I really like that scene also. But one question, the final like scene when they found the ship that was transporting Moff Gideon, was that the name? Yeah, Moff Gideon. And they found Beskar. So was that the Beskar from his new troop, sort of?
Yeah,
I would assume so.
Well, when going back, like Carson Teva said, that's Beskar alloy again, like sort of emphasizing on alloy, which for anyone that doesn't know, like for instance, like the suit that Din Djarin has is pure Beskar,
Okay.
which it's really hard to like actually make a set of pure Beskar armor because you need a specific like forging method that only people like the armorer know. Otherwise, you're not gonna it's something's gonna mess up. It's not gonna be pure. Beskar alloy is essentially mixing Beskar with something like some other metal, really,
Okay. Okay. Okay.
which
Yeah.
which makes it weaker but easier to produce. It's what actually a lot of Mandalorians in the Clone
Cheaper.
Wars had because like Beskar was getting rare. Um, but yeah, so it was very likely from those new troops. Now looking at it,
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
like a lot of us were thinking that there was this like one of the Mandalorians helped him, and there was like another spy, and then they like made them go to Mandalorian stuff, but because of that like Beskar alloy, but it seems like it was just his own troops.
yeah,
But
Okay.
yeah,
But it's
except it's too rare
Yeah.
and too expensive.
exactly. Especially if you're like trying to raise an army like Gideon
Yeah.
was. Yeah.
yeah. So Avela, for you a question. So is alloy legering
Yeah, I think so.
in Swedish?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Because because I'm not that good in English, so when I heard alloy, I didn't I didn't understand. I was like, okay, it's Beskar. Okay. So
Mm,
Yeah.
thanks for
Yeah.
explaining that one.
Yeah. Okay, but that was episode
Yeah.
5.
I think so. Yeah.
So then episode 6.
Can we skip?
No, we cannot skip.
Oh.
So this is when we go to, what's it called, like Placier 15 or
Yeah, something like that.
something along those lines, and essentially just Bo-Katan trying to find her.
You're skipping
Mandos.
something though.
What?
You're skipping the. Oh, I love you, Mon Calamari.
Oh,
Oh, no, I love you, Quarren.
I completely forgot. It
The
starts
Romeo
with-
and Juliet.
Yeah, it starts with that part with then Bo-Katan's Mandos. What is it?
Yeah, Axe Wolves and
Wolves
the other
and-
Mandalorians. Yeah.
And like that whole like part is I forgot about it, as you can see here. I forgot about it because it's like so pointless. It's not really, I don't get it, like why? It's just setting, I think, the scene for the goofiness of this entire episode, I think. I don't know.
Yeah, it's safe to say it was an interesting vibe for the episode. Plaza 15. Yep, you were
Yeah.
correct.
Well, I wrote it wrong though, but yeah, okay,
Yeah.
that's all. Yeah, okay. And yeah.
Yeah. No, Beskar, pure Beskar is just very rare. Yeah.
And also I feel like it would be hard to wear and stuff too, so
Yeah.
yeah. But anyway, then episode 6, that's when they then find these very nice people called Lizzo and Jack Black, who are the I don't know, owners of the place. I mean, it's sort of, they're being like, yeah, we are democratic, but it seems like they're just sort of.
Yeah. I mean, didn't seem well. I have like a few like there are a few things that are odd with it. So like one, they're announcing that they are a what is the term, like they're not they're an independent system, they're an independent planet, but then they're under regulation of the New Republic. You know, you got to choose, you know, you're either independent or you're part of the New Republic. But yeah,
Yeah.
do you want to go on?
Yeah, then we have the whole side mission of trying to find out what is wrong with the droids, and
then we see, great Scott, yeah, we
Yep.
see Dr. Brown from Back to the Future.
Yeah, and then it ends then with Bo-Katan finding them and then fighting X-Wolves, and that actually was
pretty cool.
Yeah, and then the Darksaber then hands it to Bo-Katan, but it's like, well, she should have it because like this creature defeated me, and then she defeated the creature. And actually that was something that we had like a theory beforehand, that we
Yeah.
were like, doesn't technically now it
Yeah,
belong to Bo-Katan?
Bo-Katan.
And then it happened. So I know like some people, and I think you were also a bit like, nah, that's a bit stupid that they just handed it over first.
It was I mean, I sort of had like I don't really have a problem with it now anymore. It was more like, I mean, as you said, like in that episode, like we were all thinking like, okay, well technically it's Bo-Katan's now. I was just more expecting it, like if that was the case, then sort of Din saying like, well, I mean, you beat the creature, like it's yours, you know?
Yeah.
Like sort of not really caring about that someone else is watching. I mean, I get it also sort of, because then it would have, in the eyes of the others, been a similar situation again with like,
Yeah.
oh, someone just gave her the darksaber again.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, really, it served the purpose of gathering the troops and like aligning Mandalore. So
Yeah, and
I'm not
also
gonna.
it sort of makes sense for Din Djarin's character because he doesn't want to
He
be
doesn't.
Mandalore. Like he's not interested in being a leader. So to me, that I didn't have a problem at all with him
Yeah.
handing it over.
Which-
sort of.
Which I'm glad about, because I feel like it would have been, for me, like Din also just from the go, like from just Jump Street, like never felt like the kind of guy that would rise up to be a leader.
Yeah.
Like just the way his character is. So I was honestly very happy that he was sort of taking that step aside, letting Bo-Katan sort of lead the people of Mandalore.
Yeah.
Because yeah, I mean, a lot of people, you know, especially like more you know, fans that have only watched Mandalorian were like, yeah, like I can't wait for Din Djarin to be Mandalore.
And I think that's also like main criticism I have seen from the people who really didn't like it has been like, what is the point of like Din? Like he didn't even do anything. He didn't become a ruler or anything. But like that was never
Yeah.
in the cards for him. He didn't want
No.
that. So yeah.
Apart from it, that he was, I mean, as much as they're working towards that not mattering, but just by the comments, you know that one half of the Mandalorians just wouldn't even follow him just because he wasn't born Mandalorian, which to be fair is a stupid thing, but still, like it's sort of that slightly realistic aspect of, you know, sometimes like things are just aligned against you that don't give you the opportunities
Yeah.
for doing certain stuff. But I mean, Bo-Katan is as badass as it can get. So I feel
Yes.
like anyone who's upset that she got the Darksaber and was able to unite the Mandalorians is an absolute idiot.
Yes, and I mean we saw she could use it.
Yeah.
Compared to Din, who was like, oh, so heavy.
And it's just so deserved too. Like I feel like that's probably one of the most positive things I really like about the season is like finally, at least for this brief moment, Bo-Katan succeeded.
Yeah.
Like she has worked towards like reuniting her people.
Don't
and like
spoil it.
oh gosh, sorry. The one episode. Two. No, but she's been failing time and time again, not even because of her own fault, like just because of the circumstances. So yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, let's go back to the droid side mission because that's the fun part of this episode.
Mm.
And yeah, I mean the droids looked very good. Like really liked seeing all of the old droids.
Well,
but
it's
yes,
like a twist because like the B1 looked really good. Like that, the B1 droid that they encounter and like ask questions like looked really good, animation wise. Like, and I mean obviously, I mean classic like battle droid voice. An interesting part is when they're talking to the oh gosh, name of the Stanley, help me, Queel. No.
Oh the
Yes. We're Star Wars
okay.
fans, we swear.
the creatures.
Yeah. Gosh. But you know
I
what I'm
have
talking
spoken.
about. Yeah, you have spoken. But in that shop, like the B2 battle droids they're working on, look, Agnot. Thank you. Yes, thank you. The when they were talking to the Agnots, like the B2s we see in the background actually look very close or accurate to what they look like in episode 2, Attack of the Clones. Then when we get to the CGI super battle droids, then there are these chunky, ugly B2s that I absolutely despise because they're not accurate to episode 2. Like the B1 accurate.
Yeah, but maybe they were like from somewhere else. I don't know.
From somewhere else. Yeah, I mean they did it in. Well, I mean, I gave it a pass in Mando season 1 in the flashback because it's like, okay, sort of makes them more threatening, I guess. And I mean, it's out of the perspective of a child, so like
Yeah.
sort of making that work. But I mean, you could also tell because the ones in the background with the Ugnaughts, I think those were actual practical. And like,
Yeah.
I mean, the other ones you could tell they were CGI, so I think they just reused the models.
Yes, but this entire, I mean, didn't have a problem with the side mission itself. Like, it's fine, especially for Mando. Seems like,
Yeah,
makes sense.
there were just some. I think I think I also had less of a problem the fact that it was a side story. There were just some stylistic choices, let's call it that, that were a bit questionable. Like for
Yeah.
instance, just the whole palace thing. I mean, was sort of. I mean, I kind of like the touch of like having those like stormtroopers in armor without the helmet and sort of
Yeah.
the robes. But I mean, it was a bit over the top. It kind of felt like Mario Land or something. um, and then with the droid chase, the B2 just absolutely sprinting away. Like, yeah, I
Well,
mean, if
first
you
you liked it.
the B2, what? Okay, well, I mean, B2s just don't run, all right? They would have won the Clone Wars single-handedly if B2s could run. Like that's just not a thing. Like I'll give him like a quick sort of trot or something, but I mean that's about it. Like they're way too heavy.
But may I ask a question? Was it so
Yes.
that it was a different director in episode 6? Is it so like it's not the
All
same
episodes
director every
pretty much
episode?
have, yeah,
Except for the last two,
they were
that
the
were
same.
both by
Yeah,
Rick. Is it? Yeah.
yeah, because I guess this person wanted to have visions and wanted to show this
Well,
all stuff.
we
It's
And
don't.
yeah,
Bryce Dallas Howard,
Yeah,
which
and she
is
made some of. She
the
made the
best.
Mando episodes in Book of Boba, which are one of them, which
okay.
was like the best episode. And she
Yeah.
made the first Bo-Katan episode in
Episode,
season
which was
2,
also
which was my
incredible.
favorite out of that season.
Yeah.
So like she has a very good track record. So that we were very excited for this episode
Yeah.
because of that. But then it was like, what is this?
Yeah, but honestly, I mean, we don't know how the process is. Honestly, just because her track record has been so good, like her track record has been the most consistent out of
Yeah.
the ones they have been pulling in from outside.
Yeah, I mean, even I like sort of put note to it because I really don't care about who directs. Like, I'm not
Yeah.
watching. Like on the panels or somewhere they said.
No. On the podcast,
Yeah, on
we
one of the
were
podcasts we
hearing.
listened
Yeah,
to.
like
Yeah, they said like we don't watch Star Wars because of the director. We're not like, oh, this is this director.
yeah,
I
like
can't
oh,
wait to
that's
see
good.
it.
Yeah,
We're watching it because of Star Wars, but because she had such good episodes, I even put like her
right.
name on, like,
Yeah,
on my
which
back of the mind, sort of.
which is definitely like a good point, and like I mean, it's really like what we're like sort of expressing when we're criticizing things. We just want things to feel consistent. Like, all the people that are like, oh, why are you complaining about the blaster sound being different? And like,
Yeah.
why are you complaining about, certain looks being a bit different? Like, nobody cares. Well, no, it's important because, I mean, it's all a connected story, especially when it comes to live action on screen. It's all supposed to match the aesthetic. Like, the OT was obviously made long before the prequels, but the prequels still try to match the aesthetic. Obviously, they used a lot of like new techniques in terms of technology, but they still, felt grounded in. Hey, what's up? They still felt grounded in trying to connect those two, and
Yeah.
and it just matched, and yeah, and like with some of the stuff we've had recently, it just doesn't match.
Oh, wait,
Yeah. But I still, I mean, if I would be working for them, I would have like the first thing I would make like this database, like a Canon database. Here's all the like OG sounds and everything. So
Yeah, I mean,
that
they
would
have
probably
like
help.
huge sound libraries. You would think that they named them like, oh, this is the blaster
Yeah.
that has
Yeah.
this sound,
Well,
but
even as simple as, I mean, yeah, I would like sort of understand if like, some sound designers are not going to be like, oh, where's the DL44
Yeah.
sound? But I would think they would have it even simpler, like Han Solo's blaster, or like
yeah, or
Bo-Katan's
yeah,
blaster, or like
Mm.
Clone
or
Blaster.
just hire us.
Or I'm dead serious, Lucasfilm.
Yeah,
If
but
you
don't hurt.
want an
Yeah,
advisor on sound design, I'll work for you for free. I don't even care. I just want the sound to be right. All right.
Yeah.
yeah. Hire them. Disney, hire them.
This is what I like. This
Yeah,
is like the idea of this like our planet is that the people are so like everything's done for them, and it's
Yeah.
sort of like a what is the call of not a dystopia, it's like the other version,
Hmm?
utopia, like
Oh
sort
yeah,
of like this perfect place, but like
but really it's
yeah,
not. Yeah.
yeah, but yeah, like I get the idea, but it just didn't really work for me. And the main problem I had with this was the like cameos from Lizzo and
Jack Black.
Jack Black.
And I
It's
love
like,
Jack Black, but it's Jack Black. I know it's Jack Black, and it will forever be Jack Black. Like for all I know, he could like jump on the table and like do an air guitar solo, like in the middle of the episode, and I would be like, yeah, that's Jack Black. What is he doing here? like I mean that's really why George. I mean, obviously this is like a sort of smaller show, but like that's why George hired new actors, because he just, and I mean he obviously sort of went out of that bounds with like people like Samuel L. Jackson and people like
yeah,
that.
on the prequels he wanted to guess like Michael Jackson and stuff. So
Well,
there he kind of
yeah, I
threw
mean
it
he
out
went
the
kind of
window.
nuts, but I mean still like I mean he really still like got people for pretty much all the roles, almost all the roles. He got people that were like pretty unknown, because he wanted people to align with the character, not the actor. It's almost similar to what these people on the podcast said, with like, you're watching Stars for Star Wars. You're not watching it for the actor. You're not watching it for the director. You're watching it for Star Wars. Like,
Yeah,
if I think of Anakin, I mean, obviously, I know it's Hayden, but I think of Anakin. When I see Hayden, I see Anakin,
yeah,
and that's what it should be. Like,
yeah. So
yeah.
I really don't like that whole thing. Oh, here's the hand up. Yes.
hand.
Yeah, yeah. I'm back to be sort of like back. Not talking about the Mando anymore, but episode 6. I have this note. Kind of weird. The part. So sort of. I mean, would Mandalorians would Bo-Katan be really so? Okay, I will land here. Why can't I just fly a little bit further and land in the camp directly? So it's sort of. It was maybe not the best
Oh,
plot ever.
mm.
But still, I think it was quite funny. And there's a lot of Auerbash in this one also.
Yeah,
So
Yeah,
there
so
is a lot.
I'm waiting for the text to be
you're gonna have your
open up.
hands full.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think it was also, I mean, it was the quality of all the scenes also was so perfect, and all the droids. And so I still think it was a good episode, but it was sort of like it wasn't like a filler, but still I think it was
No,
it
it
was a
was
good
filler.
good episode. Yeah, but still I think it was a good episode. But I haven't yet seen your reactions. Wasn't so that you saw this in London together, this
No,
part?
it's the next one.
Okay,
No,
didn't you see this?
no, no,
No,
no.
didn't
We
see this
watched
Oh
one.
we
no,
watched two
yeah, no, that's
episodes.
true.
Yeah,
No,
we watched that
Yeah,
one.
yeah.
That was the first one we watched in London.
I
Yeah.
thought you
Yeah,
meant
so
like
no,
actual
no, no,
on
no. So
celebration.
I really think I might have to watch that video, see what your reactions are when you are together. That might
Well,
be
we
quite
have
fun.
one party pooper Nick in there who already
Oh,
watched the
Oh,
episode. He
yeah,
really didn't
okay,
like it, so he
yeah.
was
So
making
he was
comments
making
on stuff.
like I was about to punch
okay,
him.
okay. Yeah,
I know
I
Cody was
might have.
probably also about to punch.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to sort of go on with that comment, because yes, like we care about Star Wars, obviously, like, and it's something that I've seen more and more recently, which I think it's really bad. People criticizing people that criticize actual things about the shows and the media of Star Wars, especially if it's like granted. Like for instance, what he says with the 501st color being wrong. Like it's just objective, It's just blatantly
It's
wrong.
just
It's not the
wrong.
same
Yeah.
color. And same with like a sound effect. Like if a certain blaster has a certain sound effect and has had that sound effect always, and then suddenly it's wrong, then it's wrong. And there are just these kind of really just all positive fans, I guess, that are then just sort of like, they can't accept anyone saying something negative about the show. But I feel like it's so important to criticize things when it's actually granted, because all we want as fans, I mean, we're paying for this. We're paying for Disney Plus. We're paying for the ticket to go see that movie in the cinema. Like, all we want is the best possible product for our entertainment, for our money. So there's absolutely nothing wrong with criticizing things like that are objectively an error, something they messed up on. And I highly encourage like anyone really to be open about that and like voicing their criticism, obviously in a respectful way.
Exactly, and especially not like going to the lengths of like attacking the actors or something like that. Like,
Which,
let's not
yeah.
repeat what the people did to the prequel actors, and even to George, like bullied him to basically be like, I'm done with this.
Yeah. No, but like voicing your criticism in a respectful manner is highly important. Not even in Star Wars, like in general. Like, people just need to learn again how to have a level-headed mindset and a level-headed discourse where we can all, like just have a respectful conversation. Thank you. I try.
But let me add something else, because I'm still I'm not maybe a noob anymore, but I'm still representing the great gray mass that follows Star Wars. And for me, I mean, I didn't hear any difference in the sound in the blaster sounds. I didn't see any problems with the colors. But that doesn't mean that you shouldn't lift up and say, because you are like hardcore fans, and it's sort of like you said, Strike. It's stupid. Why can't you use the same sound all the time? So like the producers and the directors have to understand that there are like people that gray mass, and then the hardcore fans, and that's the thing that I think it's good with this series anyway, because there's a lot of details. I had no clue. I mean, the Jedi that was Jar Jar Binks, I was like, it's a Jedi. I was like, I don't care. And all you are talking about this Blake Black whatever. I didn't recognize this actor. I was like, oh, it's a guy. I mean, for me it was no problem, but still, that's something that's like life in common, that you have experts. You have to take everything. If it's a good show, you have to take into consideration both parts, sort of, and I think the people that are criticizing should understand that it's actually a good thing that they are doing this, and sort of maybe one day they are like hardcore fans and they're like, yeah, now I understand Strike why he was talking about the blade, because it's the wrong one. So, I mean, you might be there someday in the future, but still, yeah, in a respecting voice, that's always something you have to remember. So it's really good. So yeah, and I'm really curious how the producers and behind this series, do they actually read comments? Does it matter what you say, or doesn't matter? That would be interesting to see. Does it have an effect or not, or is it just like fans talking to each other? But we will not know that, but it would be interesting to know. Are they like following, and what are probably they are following something? Otherwise, it would be stupid.
They're following how many people watch it.
But still, but I'm pretty sure. I mean, if you think about any company in the world in any sort of like branches, that, I mean, if it's a good company, they follow up what people think about their product. So they are probably following something, but what I hope they are still following the good channels. But I think the problem is that there's so much talk about Star Wars all over the internet. So how would you find? They cannot follow up. I know they are watching this video. Hello, Kennedy. Now, what was the name of the CEO? Kennedy, Kathleen Kennedy. No, what was her name?
Yeah, no, Kathleen Kennedy. Yeah.
Yeah, hello, Kathleen Kennedy. She's watching this right now, and George Lucas is one of the persons
George
watching
Lucas,
this. Yeah. But still, I mean, I think that's a really interesting. It would be interesting to know how it works behind the scenes.
Yeah, and then there's also a difference between fans and then critics.
Right.
And that's a whole other conversation. But I think we should move on to episode
I think
7,
so too.
which is the episode that we got to watch also with JT live on
the celebration stage.
Yep.
Yeah, on the big screen.
On Friday, so how many days before? It's like 5 days before. it was released.
It was like pretty much a week before, like
Yeah.
5 days. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was a pretty good episode.
It was really good. It was very hard not to talk about it.
Yeah.
Because I mean, obviously, we didn't want to spoil it for any of our friends that were there as well. But yeah, that one is my favorite episode of the season.
Oh,
Sorry, before you start,
Yeah.
may I ask you a question? Was
Yes.
it like when you went there, was it like you're not allowed to film anything? Were they like really strict? And
yeah.
Yeah.
were
They
they
had these people like guarding, and then if they saw someone with a phone, they would like have a flashlight and then like do like.
Pretty much what they were doing. Like for instance, our friend JT, he tried to film at some point something. I think one of the trailers
Yeah, it
that
was
they
the
didn't show to
during,
anything.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
showcase.
and then when once they spotted you, they would do like this, like
Yeah.
okay? Okay, oh, that's nice. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that's
So
what
yeah.
they did.
And then
Oh,
they
okay.
dragged you out, and then they threw you into a rancor pit.
Mhm.
Oh, actually, I saw a lot of these fans. They were like carbonized, freezed on the
Yeah.
wall.
Oh
Like
yeah.
yeah,
The-
that's the ones that told
Those are
me
the
I were
ones.
trying
Yep.
to film. Yeah.
Mm.
Yes, but it starts with Elijah Kane going and informing Gideon that the Mandos are back. No, that the Mandos saved Navarro. I think
What are you trying to put together?
that the beginning where she goes like to the probe rod and she's like, "Hello."
Oh yeah, well, I mean, it starts off with that probe droid scene and with Gideon and the Shadow Council, which that scene was really cool. A lot of those like random warlords we don't know, but we do know one of them,
Two of
which
them.
besides
Hux.
Pelion. Okay, well, sort of. Okay, Pelion, if for anyone who doesn't know, is a character from Heir to the Empire. Like
Which
he
is a book after
Return of the Jedi, which is really good.
Yeah.
And
I
he
actually haven't read it.
and shame on you. But yeah, that was really exciting because he was name dropped in Rebels, but we didn't see him, so we didn't know if he actually survived up until this point. But yeah, I mean, Pelion live action wise, voice wise, I think they absolutely nailed it. It's exactly what I imagined Pelion to be.
And then Hux's dad, who is played by like the
His
actor's brother, which is pretty funny.
That's pretty funny. Yeah.
Oh no.
Oh, he didn't. I have not even checked that. That's a shame. But I'll say that on that note. If they don't get the guy that voiced Thrawn in German for this, I'm making a hate video on German voice acting. Yes,
No, don't do it.
No.
I said it here, like
Because you know
it's too
George
much.
Lucas is
It's
going.
getting too
George
much.
Lucas is going to see. Don't do it. George Lucas, he's not going to sleep for like weeks.
Don't subscribe to Strike 721 if you want to see a hate video about
The German voice acting. I'm gonna be like, I trusted you. You were so great. Oh, okay.
Anyway.
No, but that scene was really cool.
Yes.
And
And then next we get the IG-11 that becomes IG-12. Yes.
yes.
Yeah.
No.
No. No, I mean, a lot of people I've seen also were like, it's stupid, but actually did. It was funny, and it was not in a too
not over the
stupid
top.
way. I mean, it's just a kid who is like happy. Like
Also, right. I thought that was believable, and also like when we got that rumor, literally 2 years ago.
yeah.
That's already when we got the rumor of the mech, where Grogu would be in IG-11 as a mech suit. I was worried, definitely.
Yeah.
It sounded very goofy on paper.
Yeah.
The way they did it, I was fine with it. And if we remember, you guys probably haven't. Well, it depends. You might not have seen it in Clone Wars yet, but there's actually also in the one arc where Anakin, Obi-Wan, Ahsoka are fighting against Honda with the bounty hunters. One of the bounty hunters is like a little like alien dude inside a mech suit. So it's not really something that's new. So I don't really have a problem with it. And I thought they actually did it well. didn't really have a problem.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I think I mean I think it's sort of also I think Star Wars they always have to be sort of like funny small scenes, and so I think the yes no no was
Yeah,
I
it
think it
was
was
like
funny.
it was like in good, like in the Star Wars humor way. I mean, we talked about this like pretty recently, where there's a difference between the humor in Star Wars, where the characters are still taking it seriously. It's not like funny to them, whereas
Mm.
with the like Marvel sense of humor, which we also see in some of the Star Wars stuff, which shall not be named, but like it's important that they keep the sort of
Seriousness.
yeah, and just the feel of the Star Wars humor
Yeah.
that we have seen from the OT like throughout everything.
Yeah.
So
I think still to this day of the new stuff, Rogue One probably still has the like nails it best in terms of Star Wars
Yeah.
humor. Like what I always go back to as an example is like that scene where they're infiltrating Scarif, and like K2 is about to say I have a bad feeling, and they're like shut up K2.
yeah,
Like that's smart. They're serious about it. Like they want him to shut up. But you as a fan, like you know the line,
Or-
is a repeat.
are you kidding me? I'm blind.
Yeah, that is also a really good one. But like the characters are serious, and like there's actually something that's for filmmaking in general, like if if the director and sort of the characters in the show don't take it seriously, how do they expect us to take it seriously? And the answer is no. Like we're not going to take it seriously, but we want to take it seriously.
Yeah, that's sort of where I think the Mandalorian has been good with the like humor aspect, but actually episode 6 or the previous one with
Yeah, that was
that-
like over the top.
that was like too much, and especially with Lisso's character, it just didn't.
Yeah, it was like
Yeah, it was like too trying to be funny, and it
Yeah.
just didn't work. So, but yeah, overall, I think, and this like getting back to this episode, the yes thing, I think it worked. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
something before that I have one quick comment. I think it was on Navarro and one of the Imperial ships that the Mandalorians had taken over, and it has this mythosaur like
Yeah.
coloring. That was pretty cool. I think.
Yeah.
I think it. I think they also like one of the pirate ship was also like made with this pirateish camouflage, whatever. I think that was pretty smart to like do a lot of time to make them really cool. So
Yeah.
I think that was a good addition.
Yeah. And sorry. Then we go back to Mandalore, where they find some survivors, which was sort of interesting. But anyway, and then they go to the forge, where they get ambushed by Gideon, and it ends with Paz sacrificing himself and Din getting captured.
Yes.
And this is what we saw 5 days in advance on the
Yeah.
big screen.
Mm,
Yeah, it was
no.
it was a good
Mm.
one to see, definitely. I think, I mean, if it was your favorite episode, I'm
Yes.
sure you were happy that was the one we got
No,
to see.
I was very happy. Yeah, I mean,
Were
from
the crowd like were they like shouting? Were there a lot of like people shouting and
Yeah,
having
I mean,
sound?
people
And,
were like, what do you say?
well, they were being hyped. I mean, they were hyped.
Yeah, but like, there's a word for it in Swedish. I don't know if there's a word for it in English, where people are like living in the moment, or like,
yeah, definitely. I mean, when like for instance, like when Pelion name dropped Thrawn's return, I mean, people were like, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, for sure. I mean, you inevitably have that, but I mean,
But it was nice. It was
yeah.
like in a good way.
no, in a good way. Yeah.
but
Um,
was it at the celebration stage or where did you see it?
Yeah.
Okay, so there were like a couple of thousand people.
Yeah, like
4,500.
I mean, I don't think everyone came to the
No, but that's
screening though.
what it
But
fits.
that's what it fits.
Okay, so okay.
Yeah, but I mean, the action was really cool. I mean, seeing the like sort of new version of the Imperial Super Commandos
Mhm.
was pretty nice. I like
Praetorian guards.
the armor. Yeah, I mean, the Praetorian guards were badass. I mean, like
Yeah.
when they name dropped them, I was worried because it would have been a real downer if they would have just straight up been the ones from the movie that shall not be named, but
One of them.
one of them. but I really love the design, especially because of the T visor. Like it looks really cool, and the theme, the theme that like they have when like with their entrance is just really cool. Like it has some heavy like Sith vibes almost.
Mm.
And yeah, I mean, I thought the whole sacrificing scene with Paz was actually really well done. It was like it felt very in line with like all the sort of sacrifices we've had, especially with characters that were wielding miniguns.
Yeah.
I feel like there's a trend going on with minigun characters. Like we have Heavy, we have Thorn, we have Paz, like all of those minigun wielding badasses. Then just shooting until they're running out of ammo and then slamming it into another enemy. And yeah, no, it was well done. And I mean that's also where it ends with his sacrifice. So.
Yeah. Here's a small timeout, and
Uh,
yeah, I think actually something like this would be a pretty good video. But
hmm.
I have a lot of videos like in a backlog, so we'll
Yeah.
see.
I told her to do one for the noobs. That
For
would
Yeah,
the
be really
noobs.
nice.
sort of. That was not exactly what you said, but
Okay.
It's a good idea though.
it's a good idea.
We're
Yeah.
gonna you're gonna be on it.
Thumbs up with the pool.
Yeah.
And also I have like there's one scene that of course like the end scene when Paz dies and all this, like it was really cool, and it was like shivers, I have goosebumps, whatever. But still I love the scene when they were landing on Mandalore and then had like these drops. I don't know what the ships are called anyway. Then they opened the floor and they dropped down. That
Yeah.
was so damn nice. I mean, it was so
Yeah.
cool. So
Yeah.
I really appreciated that scene.
Hmm.
And yeah, Mandalorians, this is the way. I mean, they are
Yes.
so cool. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
Now you
I
understand.
will say like exactly that scene, like when they land and they're all kind of posing almost.
Mm.
I mean that was also pretty cool.
Yeah.
Also because most of them were like the blue night owl Mandalorians. Yes.
Yeah, the gauntlet.
But yeah, that was pretty cool. Yeah, a lot of cool stuff in
Yeah, I
general.
don't really have anything else to add about this
Oh,
episode though.
okay. I have one last thing. I really like the sort of quiet scene that Bo-Katan and Din share, where
Oh,
Bo-Katan she shared that she actually surrendered to Moff Gideon and gave the dark saber to him, like to like sort of make a deal so he would spare her people, which he didn't. He betrayed her.
Surprise.
Yeah,
Mhm.
surprised. Never trust an Imperial. But like she was like feeling shame for it and like sort of feeling ownership over what happened to Mandalore. And Din then sort of saying like, like you've been fighting for your people like no other, and like especially like the line of like your song has not yet been written, and like I'll follow you till my last
I'll
breath,
serve you
or I will serve you like
until it has.
until it has. Yeah, like I love that scene. It's just everything Mandalorians are, like just the code of honor and just loyalty. Um, that's that's mainly why I do really like Din, because he does voice those values
Yeah.
that they have. Um,
Even if he's one of the ones that doesn't take his helmet
Right.
off, which makes people think that that's a normal Mando thing to do.
which it's not. But yeah, that was a really nice moment.
Did that have anything else to add about episode
Just
7?
about the Mandalorians. I mean, sorry, I'm always talking about uh, the celebration, but still, it was so funny because I hadn't seen like this scene before, and this was one of the like eye openers that Mandalorians are what they are, and it's so funny because all the cosplayers, they were doing like spot on. I mean, I don't know if it's the suit or whatever, but all the people walking in there, they were like, yeah, I mean, they are Mandalorians, sort of like they were behaving like Mandalorians, like I would pretend like the owner, and they were walking around, and they were like, it was so pretty good. You didn't see
Yeah.
any like Mandalorian. I would be a like, really crap Mandalorian because I would look, yeah, I was. So maybe I will not get the helmet and all the suit because I will never get part to any like cosplay group with Mandalorian because I would be such a
You would be
loser.
surprised what the suit makes you like
Yeah.
feel. I'm sure it
Yeah,
has a part to it.
yeah,
You'll probably feel pretty cool wearing one of
yeah,
those.
yeah. Maybe it's yeah. That's true. Maybe it's like when you put on you put on your helmet, then you're like, yeah, I'm a Mandalorian. I have to behave like one. So yeah. Thumbs up for Mandalorians.
Yeah, I think for this, like it was more in the last episode, but overall, I did very much prefer this sort of style of portrayal, and this is really like the first time in terms of guards that they actually got to do something that was actually logical and made sense and
Yes.
actually looked decent and cool.
Yes. We will actually.
Yeah.
We're gonna have a stream next week where we talk about Celebration, and if Dad wants, he can join us too. But yeah, we'll talk more about Celebration then. But yeah, episode 8 then, if no one
Yes.
has anything to add.
Mhm.
So, which is the finale. And I feel like I haven't had time to process this one yet. We haven't been on any streams about it yet. So, yeah, I mean, like, I didn't really have any expectations for, like, I was like, pretty much anything could happen.
Yeah.
But, well, I mean, refresh your memory essentially, like, Din escapes.
Very
And-
easily.
Yeah, but I didn't think it was like too unbelievable.
No, it wasn't like
still
I mean
well
they
done.
no. I mean they made it believable. I mean it was 2 guards only. Like the choreographing in general with the fights has been really good. It was more the way they set it up in the last episode made it seem like there was gonna be a sort of more impactful interaction between Din and Moff Gideon, like, and that just didn't happen. So it was, and also like people were kind of like confused why the episode before the finale was called Spies, but there were no spies.
No, it was just one.
Well, it was one, right? But like plural was just wrong. But yeah, I'm like I don't know, two-sided on it. Really the like I enjoyed it. I like the happy ending. I do. I actually really do. I don't have a problem with the dark saber getting destroyed. I you know, it's had its time in canon. It's had its time. It fulfilled its purpose of reuniting Mandalore. Yeah, exactly. It was just misleading.
Yeah, we all had like our theories and stuff
Yeah,
about that.
about
And it
like
was
is
like,
it the armor? Is it axe? Like
yeah, we're gonna find out. And
Yeah.
it was no one.
which I mean,
Okay.
to be fair, I was very glad it wasn't Axe because
Yeah.
I really like Axe actually.
Yeah.
Because he's like I don't know. For some reason I really kind of enjoy the more like assholey like sort of attitude that some of the like ex Death Watch Mandalorians have.
Yeah.
Because it has that sort of like, you know, night like sort of that spit of ego and like sort of, you know, superior. Yeah, I don't know, but at the same time that makes them badass because they're just very confident in themselves. And I think his armor is just very cool. Oh, okay. Interesting. So I guess in German it would not have been misleading because it's
No.
singular.
Should have just watched.
We should have watched it in German. No, but yeah. So overall, I'm happy with the episode. I really like the action. The Mandos flying against the Super Commandos was really cool. Seeing that in live action. My main issues are, yeah. I mean that was I like that scene.
Yeah.
I liked it. But yeah, I mean, I think the main problems I have for one, what happened to the TIE interceptors and the TIE bombers? We
Yeah.
don't see how they get destroyed. And reasons on why I think there is cut content, or I mean, there's definitely cut content, because like I'm big into Lego, and there is a set that's called, or that is a TIE interceptor fighting a Fang fighter. For anyone who doesn't know, a Fang fighter is basically like a small like I think it's 2-manned, like it has a pilot and a co-pilot manned fighter.
That the Mandalorians use.
That the Mandalorians use. It's like smaller than the Gauntlet cruisers. And Yeah, I mean, it would have made sense to see those dog fights to see how the tie interceptors get destroyed.
Yeah, they've been so good with the dogfights this season.
Yeah,
Like,
and then they just totally skip on a
Yeah.
really epic big one. The other thing was sort of Moff Gideon himself. I mean, there are already like wild theories, but if this was just legitimate, like Moff Gideon himself, I felt like his death was pretty anticlimactic. Also, like the way he was going out with like the explosion behind him, he was like like I feel like if I was in that situation as the bad guy, I would try something quote unquote stupid to still get them even if I die, sort of like shooting a missile or something, like, but not that dramatic, like platoon, like like yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely felt. Yeah, I think anticlimactic.
I think that sums it up
like
pretty
a
well.
pretty good word for it. I didn't necessarily mind it because for me it was just important that it was like the good ending sort of.
Yeah.
And yeah, but it definitely something was going on, like sort of I guess behind the scenes or whatever.
Must have been. Yeah.
Because it was just sort of
Rushed.
Yeah, there was it felt like something was missing for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there was something else I wanted to. Yeah, they're the main theories that it was a clone of him. Yeah.
Which I would not even be surprised because current Star Wars has a pretty damn good track record of bringing people back.
Yeah, unfortunately.
On the other hand, I don't mind bringing IG-11 back, which
and it's a droid.
It's a
bit
droid.
Different.
It's different, and it's definitely not the original IG-11. I mean, it's a different head, so he's not going to have the memories. They just reprogrammed the assassin droid to be a good assassin droid, but like it's not IG-11.
Yeah, and also in this episode we get the reveal that Gideon was trying to make force-sensitive clones, but the reason was that he wanted to clone himself and add the force sensitivity to make the army, because like from previous seasons we sort of got these hints, but we didn't know exactly what it was, and we were like, oh, is it gonna go in the direction of trying to create like Snoke or Palpatine or whatever?
Right.
But I'm glad that it was like
no, that I'm actually glad about. Somehow I'm not getting returned.
We'll see.
And that's the other thing, like I think that was actually, I mean, we know that concept from, like, for instance, The Force Unleashed, where that was a big topic with cloning Galen Marek, and that's sort of not really working, like it's even been since Grievous, like it's been that sort of project in Star Wars, like trying to forcefully make someone force sensitive, which it just turned out to be really, really, really difficult. And like an old lore, they actually didn't manage to do it at all up until after Return of the Jedi, when Thrawn actually accomplished, or when Sabayoth accomplished it, huh?
Luke?
Yeah, Luke versus Luke. Yeah, no, it really was that way.
I know.
But
I agree with this.
But it was last point. It was cut short though, because I mean, Din pressed one button and then all the clones were killed. So that was sort of like, okay, this was a great concept, but now it's gone. Like,
we don't even know if he actually succeeded.
Right. If I mean, he's just said it. We don't know if that's
I would say, like the Stanley's comment. Also, I felt. I mean, it would be interesting to know why couldn't they like put one episode more or whatever and sort of like get more content, because there were a lot of they could have stretched out a lot of these scenes, but
yeah.
But did you, by the way, but did you? I mean, I have one comment. I have some comments, but I think it was really the Moff when Moff put on the helmet and his sound. I mean, that's like they used. It was sort of like Darth Vader vibes or whatever. I think it was well done. The sound. It wasn't like too much, but still like Moff, So that was. I like that. I like that detail.
Yeah, and I think like if we're getting like a bunch more Mando seasons or something, then we might see Gideon back. But otherwise, I'm hoping that the new bad guys can be Thrawn, so Moff Gideon will just stay dead. But we'll see about that one. But yeah, then the ending of the finale, there's a bunch of stuff. We get first of all, we get this small Mythosaur moment where we have like
Was
see
essentially
a
getting
little bit.
teased for a second. No, we don't see more.
No, we
It's
just
just
see
more
like a
light.
small moment of
Yeah.
it. Yeah, and I mean that's something that people were also disappointed that we didn't see the Mythosaur. But I mean that was something I said already. Like once we saw it the first time, and I had a feeling they were gonna save it for.
Well, and
The big
especially
event.
after we got
Yeah.
the confirmation, Dave Filoni will work on a movie that's going to, sort of end or like round up the
whole
Mandalorian
era,
timeline, that
and
whole
Ahsoka
era,
and
yeah,
everything.
and Ahsoka. So
Yeah, I think that's when I said like, yeah, I
yeah,
think they're gonna
they're
save
save it
Mythosaur
for that, which makes sense. Like I am so looking forward to seeing that on the big screen.
Yeah.
We're gonna watch that so many times.
Yeah.
That's true because that was something I was going to ask you when you said you saw the seventh episode on big screen. That do you think that would be like would there be like a mark how do you say mark nine? What's that
Market.
Avela? A market for like smaller like 1 hour that you could actually see this on big screen like this
Yes.
series because
Yeah,
they're
or even just rewatching the movies. They're gonna have Return of the Jedi now in the US and UK only, and we
Okay.
wanted to go
By
and see
the
it.
way, hey Witherpool, like I have not found anything yet, but like are there like any cinemas in Germany that are playing Return of the Jedi? Because so far like all it said was like nope, they're just in the UK. Like I'm like
Yeah.
sort of holding out hope that maybe like some of the like original dub cinemas maybe have it.
Yeah, because obviously we never got to see them. We didn't see the like special edition when
No.
they were released
Yeah,
or
it's still a bit
anything.
too early.
So like we would love to see like just the original movies. Even.
Yeah.
I would pay like good money to be able to see those. So there definitely is a market. I don't know why they haven't used that yet.
And to that point, sort of also, I think there would be actually quite a number of people that would watch singular episodes in the cinema.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, at least currently how it stands, that would have to probably be like a sort of local event by a cinema. But I think it would make money.
Yeah.
I do think so.
And yeah, I'm actually pretty surprised by that one too. But I mean, I'm happy because I did my research on it, and it seems like they did their research too. So but we'll still see. I have some questions about the way it looks, but yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, we just haven't seen enough yet to actually make up our mind. But at least, like, actually, I think the eye, like the sort of the upper skull area, actually looks very similar to what you.
Yeah, but then the very end where we have then Grogu and Din
Oh,
Grogu,
gosh.
which is something I want to talk about. Like, it just sounds so stupid. Like, why couldn't it just be like Grogu Jarin instead of Din Grogu? I don't know. I think it's stupid, but
yeah. I mean, it's also like Bo Katan Kreese. Like Bo Katan is her first name.
Sabine
Kreese. Yeah, like literally any Mandalorian name in history, like Jango Fett. Like I mean, it's like Jango first name, Fett last name, Jaster Mariel last name. Like it
all the
Vizslas, obviously. So it kind of makes no sense to name him Din Grogu. It would make way more sense to name him Grogu Jarin. I don't know if they were just feeling funny and being like, "Oh, that's different," but I mean, it doesn't work. I mean,
it's stupid. I don't like it. But yeah, I mean, the end is then basically like they will start doing some bounty hunting missions for the New Republic, and
and right now they're living happily on Navarro.
Yeah.
I think they actually chose the name because it's easier for like the gray market and the people that want to buy stuff to say Din Grogu than Grogu Darjin. I think. I don't know. I think there was like a marketing team deciding the name of the.
Yeah.
Probably. I don't know.
Yeah, but yeah. I mean, that's what I've been like sort of saying to her, or like really just sort of to myself, like. Because like I don't know if people are like really aware. Like for instance, like Germany is really big on Star Wars. I mean, just going from all the extra content we especially got like during the George Lucas era of Star Wars. There was a lot of exclusive content, like for instance those audio dramas with the original like voice actors. And I mean we have the like if you go by country and like sort of divide the US and states, then the 501st Garrison of Germany is the biggest one in the world, which I think says a lot.
Yeah.
So I would think they would, put Return of the Jedi into cinemas here as well, but yeah, sad. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's still. Yeah, I guess that's the only way. But
Yeah.
why would then the armor, or I guess the armor would.
Well, the armor would know,
Yeah.
because I mean they took him under their wing.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
it's still.
I mean, it just sounds funny. I mean, yeah.
I will get used
I mean,
to it.
I think no one is ever going to call him Din Grogu. Like, I think they're just gonna be like Grogu.
Well,
And
we'll
it's
see.
sort of like on the birth certificate it has the full name, but does anyone ever say the full name?
Hello.
Hey, two Star Wars nerds.
Yes. Anyway, since we had the next section of the show. Oh, we have been going for a long time, but we have a couple more points. So I guess just first of all, just overall feelings like about the season. Who wants to start?
I will start. I mean, I think what we was talking about just like a minute ago sums it up. I mean, and I'm really happy to hear that. Actually, I didn't know that they're going to do sort of like a movie with a lot of Mandalorians, because they deserve it. It's so pretty. It's so cool. I mean, all the aesthetics about the suit and how they behave and their honor and everything. All the all the fights and everything. It deserves like a big screen and a
You'll
good
see
movie.
more in Clone Wars.
Okay. I'm waiting for that. So I mean, I don't find anything that disturbs me in this season. I mean, of course, like I mean, I think it was a good one. I actually think, because I don't have time to do a lot of stuff, because the work and blah 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 and so on. But I actually think I could see the season again, because it was so beautiful. It was really beautiful. I think the story was well done, a lot of good details, and I mean the the quality of all the CGI and all the puppets and all the sounds and everything. I think it was just beautiful. So, and then we think about the ending. I don't know. Do I have any feelings? Like a lot of people have commented, it was a little bit rushed and so on, and there were a lot of maybe plot holes and so on. But I can live with that, and I actually can see that Mando's Din Djarin's role is not to be. He's more like a loner anyway, and he wants to continue to do his stuff, and he likes to hunt people down and creatures down, and that's his thing. So I think it was good, but so yeah. I hope there's going to be more seasons, at least one.
Yeah, we'll get to that later.
Yeah. So,
Maybe
but
it's a
yeah.
blurb.
Yeah.
So overall feelings, I will give 5 out of 5 meter stars.
Wow, that's really good.
That's a good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, overall, I mean, as I said, like the first episode really was already a positive note for me, so I really went into the season high hopes, and for the most part, like I've really enjoyed the season, I must say overall, like even with gripes here and there. Episode 6 was definitely the only one where I was like actively in my head like I don't like it, I don't like it.
Yeah.
Um
But on the second watch, you said it
wasn't as bad as on the first watch, yeah.
Also because Nick was right there.
Well, yeah, I mean that obviously didn't help.
He
but
already told us it was gonna be bad. So.
but I'm willing to let that one go just because it's one filler episode that I'm actually
Yeah.
willing to call filler because
and it doesn't affect.
it doesn't affect anything. It's
Yeah.
just a standalone episode that I just don't necessarily have to rewatch, so it's all good. But yeah, really enjoyed it overall. Sound design wise, it gets a fat L though.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I'm gonna make a more in-depth video on that actually. But yeah, I mean that's like an unfortunate thing. Yeah, I will. I will give it 0 out of 1 bobas though, because we didn't get boba in this show. No, I'm kidding. No, I mean I was definitely hoping to see him, but I'm also not upset that we didn't see him.
We'll see him again.
We'll see him
Somewhere.
again somewhere. Yeah. Although Din Djarin, 2 episodes still belong to him, so buckle up. No, it was really good.
Saber out of 10 Beskar ingots. I'm not sure what that means.
Maybe the dark saber was made out of 10.
May I add one comment?
Yes.
It was really funny because we have like doing some renovation, doing stuff here at home, and we had this carpenter guy sort of, and I was telling telling him that I'm going to London for the Star Wars celebration. He was like, "Yeah, I was really not up to the Star Wars films. I don't even remember did he even see, he might not even have seen the films. He was like 30 something."
Yeah.
But he said that he really loved the Mandalorian series, and he has started to watch Star Wars because of that. So he was like, "Yeah, I really love Mando." So that was for me a really interesting sort of like you could think that okay, everybody that see the Mandalorians are the one that has seen the films and so on, but there are actually people that actually that's the first love to Star Wars sort of. So
Yeah.
so I think that's a good rating and keeps also like really people that doesn't follow Star Wars at all that like them. And he was
Yeah.
like, yeah, it comes on every Wednesday. He was really
Yeah.
excited about Mandalorian. So yeah, sorry,
Yeah.
just a small.
No, I mean that's a very good point. Like it's especially the first season because it was such a big hit,
Yeah.
and especially because of Baby Yoda at the time.
Right.
Like so many people, even like some of my friends who used to back in the day like make fun of me for liking Star Wars, were suddenly like, "Oh, Baby Yoda!" So, like, yeah, it's definitely introduced a lot of new people to Star Wars. It made Star Wars sort of cool again. So, yeah, that's a good point. But yeah, I guess for my overall feelings, like I really liked it because it dove more into the Mandalorian like culture, and we saw a lot of very cool Mandalorian action, even though I had some problems with certain things. For example, where Bo-Katan says that like having the helmets on is something that their ancestors did,
Which is not true.
which has never been a thing. Which is the whole like having the helmets on. So many of these casual fans who sort of found Star Wars because of the Mandalorian now think that that's like a thing, which I'm a bit like annoyed with. But
Honestly,
it's okay.
honestly, I enjoy it though because like it gives me back some. So I don't know. As a kid, like I used to really enjoy, correcting people on stuff about. Well, for instance, like really like when Ahsoka
Only
was
when you
on.
were young. Only when you were
Yeah.
young.
When I was, I'm 20. I'm not young anymore. No, but really, like for instance, like when Ahsoka was still rather unknown because of Clone Wars wasn't like a mainstream thing yet. Like when people were like, "Oh, there are like no badass like female Jedi," and then I was like, "Well, did you watch Clone Wars? Ahsoka." That gives me back like sort of that like, no, actually, no, they don't wear the helmets all the time. I know, I like being an ass with that. I can't help it. It's,
Yeah, actually, I think I agree pretty much with the Stanley. It's like that's like my also other main point that I don't like is where there's just a lot of these plot points, for example, the like Pershing stuff, and then some other like the New Republic stuff, which obviously comes from the show that was cancelled. But obviously these were still supposed to tie into each other, and that's something I've been like sort of I think talking about also before, where I really don't want it to go the way it's going with Marvel, where everything is tied together and you sort of need to watch everything to understand what's going on and stuff, where that's going to then really like make
Yeah.
those exactly those fans who found Star Wars because of the Mandalorian, like those fans are going to like fall off the tracks. Like for me, obviously, I'm gonna watch everything. I don't like personally have a problem with it. I'm just afraid that it's going to get to a point where people are not watching Star Wars anymore because everything's connected and they don't have you don't have time to watch everything if you're just a casual Star Wars enjoyer. Like like a lot of these, it seems like they're building up to this. Now we know it's a movie that's going to happen that Dave Filoni is making, and like everything's going to connect together. And I just wish it would stay where we can have these standalone projects and everything is contained, and we don't have all of these random things that will then lead into something else, because it just makes it overall sort of lose focus. But I mean, yeah, we'll see how they do it. But I hope they learn from Marvel, because if you don't know, Marvel is not doing
Marvel
very
is,
good at
you
the
know,
moment.
if Marvel is this.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, also you can tell. Funny enough, because it used to be like that Marvel stole ILM from Star Wars. Now it seems to go back into like ILM is working mainly on Star Wars, because all the CGI on like Marvel stuff seems rushed and not good. Which, I mean, for obviously for us Star Wars fans, it's nice to see. But I also, one thing that I've seen so many people like talk about with Mando season 3 and criticizing it on, oh, there aren't this many like cameos. And I mean, it's kind of what you said,
Yeah.
like people were like, oh, I hope like they're setting up Ahsoka in the Mandalorian. I'm like, no, I want the Mandalorian. You know, I'm watching Ahsoka for Ahsoka, but I want Mandalorian to be Mandalorian.
Yeah.
And like obviously, like having characters like Zeb as sort of like a fun one in there.
In the
That's
background,
cool.
like
In the
just-
background, like he has literally
Yeah.
like a few lines of dialogue. That's cool. I really liked seeing Zeb. But that's like, and I mean that's why I really like it. Like actually, because I think they handled it well. You know, having those fun cameos, but like not overdoing it.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah,
in season
that,
2 they were like kind of riding a fine line of it still making sense, because like characters had a reason to show up, but it was like it was on the verge of almost too much.
and may I just add that that's also I mean, if it would be too complex, that you wouldn't understand. Like there's like one, you know, why are these people here? So that also makes it. I think like I was talking about this Carpenter, he wouldn't love Mando if it been you have to see all 7 films and three series of Clone Wars to understand something. It shouldn't be that difficult.
Yeah.
But still, like you said, it's fine to have like short moments, like Luke in, was it season 2 or
Season
wherever?
2, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's it, because that's it's also good to connect to the bigger picture also.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
But do
so,
it in a
yeah.
good way, which makes
Right.
sense.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, exactly. That should be sort of that you understand everything, even if that's the first thing you see from Star Wars. But there's still like these details and everything for us, like hardcore fans, which then like adds to our experience and just makes sense and into everything. So that's very important.
Speaking of hardcore fan, JT is back from trying on suits.
Oh, fancy.
I hope you're talking about a Mandalorian suit,
Yes.
right?
And is that
Legend.
That's me. And where were you trying the suit, in Ipswich or?
Oh no, not it's.
No?
Oh, bye. It was very nice having
Bye.
you. Thanks for being here, and
Yes.
may the force be with you too. Yeah, we still have a couple points that we need to discuss. This is very important. So I think we should move on to the next one,
Yes.
unless someone has
Nope, sounds
something
good.
else to say. And that was this. We sort of already like talked about this a bit, but here I'm referring to Book of Boba and then the cancelled Rangers of the New Republic. So we already talked about that, where they like used some of the stuff that was probably written for that. But then like Book of Boba, like how will that, or I mean it already did obviously affect, because the whole like reunion was there.
It was basically what you said, with like having to watch something to understand this, which it's literally just 2 episodes. It's not even like, you know, that like the entire season is
Yeah.
crucial for Mando season 3. It's literally just 2 episodes of the training with Grogu, with Luke,
Yeah.
and then Grogu coming back to Din. And I mean that's what we've been seeing like in the beginning, like so many of those like fans that just watch Mandalorian were
Yeah.
like, why is Grogu back? Like
Yeah.
and kind of having no idea. And I mean, yeah, some probably went back after like searching for like the answer, and like, oh, so they reunite in that show, okay.
Yeah.
But I
it's-
mean,
it really should not be that way.
no.
think they should have just used that thing for like the first episode of this
Yeah.
season, or even like the season 2.5 or whatever that we were discussing back
Yeah,
then when that
like-
was coming out.
I don't even see what the problem would be if you just, if you just make the third season 10 episodes long.
Yeah.
Like it really shouldn't be an issue. It almost feels like they might have seen, because I mean the finale obviously seems like sort of rushed and like some cut content. So I'm
Yeah.
almost wondering if they put those 2 episodes in Book of Boba kind of to save some of the episodes they made, because they knew like, oh, they would cut them down.
Yeah,
Because
well,
there's so much going on behind the scenes that we obviously don't know, but
I
it
think they just
seems
wanted to connect them because obviously then
Yeah,
comes and helps
well, I
out.
mean, yeah, because Book of
Boba and
Boba was
stuff.
so crap on its own.
Yeah, but I think that was definitely a very poor decision to
Yeah.
put. That is a very important thing because the Mandalorian is about Dana
Yeah.
and Grogu. So
And it definitely hurt the head start of the third season for those fans, definitely.
yeah, so it definitely I think had a pretty big like
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah,
Yes.
but on the other hand, like the gray like masses that saw Mandalorian only maybe. So it was still, was it like 2 years between season 2 and season 3? Or how many years?
We don't really know because they said something first and then they said something else and
Yeah,
we
but
will-
but when
yeah.
was it aired? Like season 2,
Oh, and
the
that way.
ending of season
Yeah,
2,
two-
and the
Pretty much exactly 2
2
years
years,
ago.
yeah.
yeah. So I
Yeah.
mean, it's such a long time. So I don't think most of the people that start to see season 3, they didn't remember what happened in season 2. I don't know.
Yeah, probably not.
So they're like, so I don't think maybe people didn't even perhaps think about it. I don't know, but still, I still I have the same opinion as you that it was stupid to put the episodes in Boba Fett. It should have been like
Yeah.
part of Mandalorian. So
Yeah, I mean they're going with the Marvel approach there, but I hope they
Mm.
realize that it was a mistake and they're not gonna do that again.
Mm.
yeah.
But we'll see. Yeah, I mean that makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, definitely. I mean, it was a lot of Star Wars content in that time, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
This,
did you know about this?
Well, I didn't know that they actually brought him back for Book of Boba, because if I'm not mistaken, didn't they I'm pretty sure so this is the guy that voiced Luke also in the OT.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure though that his son voiced Luke in The Mandalorian season 2,
Oh.
because I noticed that he sounded a bit different. Okay, I actually don't think I ever watched that scene. I only watched the clone scene in German to sort of confirm that it's bad. But I actually haven't watched that. I'll have to check that out. But I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, I mean we don't
Yeah.
really know what exactly that show was supposed to be and what exactly happened.
Yeah.
but-
Again, a lot of behind the scenes stuff that yeah.
and it's not the first Star Wars project that has been cancelled, so
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, also why we're like, it sucks so much to be like this cautious about like Star Wars movies, because like we were sort of like saying like, oh yeah, like how many movies will be revealed and how many will get canned. So yeah, Power Rangers, The New
Yeah.
Republic. I think you want to go.
I sort of hope that the reason also why they didn't want to rewrite it after they couldn't use Cara Dune anymore, I hope the reason was they sort of, because obviously that was going in the direction of the Marvel way, because that show was going to tie into everything else. So I hope they just were like, yeah, maybe we shouldn't do this. That's my headcanon of why they didn't do it.
Yeah.
Let's hope.
That's what I'm
Yeah.
hoping.
Yeah, that's the way. This is the
That is the way. But yeah, then the last thing, which was this the end of the Mandalorian show? So, I mean, because there has been, or Jon Favreau is the only one who has said that they are writing season 4.
Oh,
And
that they have written season 4.
Yeah, that they were like before the season started coming out. They also said that they were already working on season 5 and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But it wasn't announced on Celebration that we would get the next season, and
Yeah.
you would think that that's something, if they already wrote it and if they're gonna start,
Yeah.
or like they're in pre-production, you would think that they would be able to say like, yeah, getting a season 4.
Yeah.
So far, the only place we have gotten is like
John
Jon
Favreau.
Favreau, and he has made some comments about that, but
Yeah.
we have no other information.
Yeah. And then on the other hand, we have no post-credit scene after season 3 of Mando, which there has been one every single season so far, setting up the next season or another project, which is also kind of sus. And then also on top of that, like getting the announcement, the official announcement that Dave Filoni is directing a movie that is ending off all of those stories. And as far as we know, that movie could be after first season of Ahsoka and might not even get another season. The movie might just end it off after that. So I think it's actually looking pretty dark in terms of people that wanted a 4th season. I mean, we might still. Okay, so I'm actually okay. I'll backtrack. We might still get a 4th season, but it might not have anything to do with the movie because Din might not be involved with any of the stuff that happens there. It might be more Mandalore related, and I mean he's not involved in that anymore by the end of this season. So
I think, I mean, if we're getting a next season, it's probably going to be sort of more similar to the first season where they're just doing bounties and I don't know, something happens.
But could it be that I'm just thinking about almost everyone has now commented that the last episode felt a little bit rushed, that they actually put like the last scenes that they added it and then they had to cut off sort of like scenes because they wanted to have like, okay, it's over, they just go to this small cottage and okay, start to hunt stuff. Could that been like that episode was written like the last scenes were written like in a later moment when they decided to scrap the season 4?
Yeah, I mean that's because also something people have been saying that a lot of the actors were saying that this is gonna be like emotional and like a lot of stuff that would happen that like didn't.
Yeah.
So people have been theorizing that they sort of made 2 endings and then they decided to go with this one.
For whatever reason.
Maybe because they were like, okay, we're going to go ahead with these projects, so that's why we need to end this here. But like we don't know. But to me, it definitely felt like an ending. So
it was it will work as an ending at least.
Yeah,
I think sort of.
There's just a lot of mystery about that whole situation at the moment.
This is sort of interesting too. Like when we still were thinking that someone is a spy, we thought that it would be the armorer because she also has the horns.
Right.
But
yeah, I mean, it's kind of what you're saying, Percy. Like, we all had like our thoughts of like, oh, is he like mocking, the Mandalorians with having the horns, like sort of like how once again, someone that's not really a Mandalorian, like sort of taking the mantle.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been sort of degraded to meaning nothing. So, yeah.
And then, I mean, there is only so much room in between OT and the sequels, so yeah, there's so many different eras that we could explore, and we already know the movie announcements. There's gonna be one post sequels, and there's gonna be the Mando timeline one, and then there's gonna be the very beginning one, and obviously, I think that's the High Republic. I mean, we're getting the Acolyte.
Yeah. Which the trailer looked promising.
Yeah, we have seen the trailer. It actually looked pretty good.
Yeah, actually had some like the tone seemed serious. Some of the fight scenes were, I'm not sure if they were just weirdly cut.
No, you'll see once it comes out. We'll not talk about that too much here.
No, not gonna spoil. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and then also the other point is that I think on the stream we had on your channel earlier today where your PC crashed, was Nick said that like they want to continue the Mandalorian because that's what is making them money, and that's I mean you can see like from the numbers the amount of people who watch the Mandalorian compared to anything else Disney Plus is like there's a very big difference.
Yeah.
So it would make sense for them to want to make a season 4, but I mean at the same time this did feel like an ending, so I mean, we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, maybe they also didn't put a post-credit scene there because they, as sort of bad as that sounds, maybe they just don't know for sure in what direction they're going.
I hope that's not true.
Well, but I mean, I feel like with sort of the ones they've had so far, I mean, for now, the Book of Boba post-credit scene is sort of a nothing burger.
Yeah.
In Mando season 2, setting up the Book of Boba Fett, which then led into an absolute disaster. I feel like they might be like, all right, let's not set an expectation and just bring it out when it's ready.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Oh no, not the Play-Doh.
No!
Not the celebration Play-Doh food.
I'm getting nightmares.
Charlie!
Hopefully you get some good sushi.
Yes. Destroy that sushi.
Was there anything else that anyone wanted to say about The Mandalorian season 3?
I think we
just
covered it all.
the only thing that I mean, this is I so love this shirt. It's
Yeah,
so cool.
it's really cool.
Actually, it's actually I think it. I thought the most was it Jessica. I think she has the same. I thought
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
she
No,
saw-
they also
it
got
was
that shirt. Yeah.
yeah, because I was like, I hope it's a male one. Then I was asking this guy because another one was like a female. It was really cool, another T-shirt, and then there was like this one. I hope it's unisex. I was like, yeah, I want one, so I bought one of these. It because Bo-Katan, she's awesome. So
Yes.
Yeah, Bo-Katan definitely got to shine bright in this season, which I'm very happy for. Yes. Anything else?
I think we covered everything.
Yeah, we went 2 hours, which was
1
hour more than what I was planning. But there was a lot to talk about, and there was good people to talk with, and everyone in the chat also. Very big thank you for being here. And as I said, next week, if everything goes to plan, we will we will have. Oh, if I stop coughing, we will have a stream about celebration, and by then all of our like vlogs from there will be out. Next one is coming on Tuesday already, so then I will have Mr. Strike and Mr. My Dad on here if he wants to come and talk about everything on celebration, and we'll also take some of your questions beforehand and yeah, just have a fun time talking about celebration, and maybe someone else if someone wants to join who also was with us on celebration. Yes.
I will say, like, there's like continuously there have been 8 people, and I feel like some people have just been lurking. So not only do we have the legend here on the panel, but we have a lot of legends in the chat. So
Yes.
thank you guys for like just being here the entire time,
or just watching,
or just lurking, watching. You're not going unnoticed. So yeah, thank you very much.
Yes, but that was it, and hope you have a good day. Bye bye.
Bye bye.